Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin just confirms the breakout into new all-time highs, which sets up another massive price target that we need to pay attention to, while Bitcoin is now heading towards a short-term price target and liquidating a lot of positions, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now just starting the next breakout to the upside. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now we are finally seeing the price of Bitcoin officially break out above the old all-time high, which was sitting at around 69,000. And also over the last one day, we've just seen the highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin's entire price history, with the weekly candle close confirming at approximately $69,000. And so, like I said in my last video, this is yet another bullish signal, further confirming the fact that we are very bullish, especially on the weekly time frame, as I've actually been saying here on the channel since all the way back down here below 20,000. But now that we've broken out above all of these Fibonacci levels on the Fibonacci retracement tool on the linear settings, and now that we're breaking out above the all-time high, what is the next important Fibonacci level to pay attention to on the weekly time frame? And that would be this 1618 Fibonacci extension, which on the linear settings for the Fibonacci retracement tool is sitting at roughly around 102,000 US dollars. So yes, you heard that right. The next major price target or next significant level of resistance on the weekly time frame for the price of Bitcoin is sitting at just above $100,000 per Bitcoin. And now obviously it's very unlikely that we're going to go straight there in a straight line without seeing any short-term pullbacks and things like that. So just keep that in mind. Of course, during this larger bullish trend, we can see small pullbacks here and there, but honestly, I don't expect massive pullbacks to the downside, simply because right now there is way too much demand for Bitcoin. There's too much money coming in through the Bitcoin ETFs buying up Bitcoin for there to be any major pullback. Of course, we can see small pullbacks here and there, but I don't expect significant crashes to the downside. And speaking about the Bitcoin demand coming in through the Bitcoin ETFs, of course, today is Monday, which means the US stock market opens up again today, which means the Bitcoin ETFs begin trading again today, which basically means players like BlackRock and Fidelity can start buying Bitcoin again today after not buying it over the weekend. And so depending on the inflows and outflows today, of course, if we see another massive net inflow today, that could end up resulting in the price of Bitcoin pumping much higher once again. And as always, I'll keep you up to date on the Bitcoin ETF news and in real time over on my Twitter, link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But anyway, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, taking a look at the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, and right now this is still trending in the bearish direction here in the short term, basically dumping to the downside, which is technically bullish for the price of Bitcoin and crypto. And so once again, this is yet another bullish signal pushing the price much higher, as we've seen in the past time and time again. When the DXY is bearish, that is almost always bullish for the price of Bitcoin. And so overall, on the larger timeframes, of course, nothing has changed. We're still looking extremely bullish on the larger timeframes in terms of the larger trend and momentum, as I've been saying for a long time now on the channel. And so if we're zooming into the short term, looking at just the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, of course, over the last one day, as I said in my last video, we started this initial breakout to the upside, like I said in my last video. And then since my last video, we saw a small retest of this previous area of resistance, now acting as new support. Once again, in between around 67.5k to 69k was resistance and is now support. And obviously, as we can see here, we confirmed that breakout, like I said in my last video, and then we saw this retest and then a bounce from that level, further confirming the breakout to the upside. And as I said in my last video, once again, we have this short-term technical price target for this short-term breakout, which was sitting at around 73,000, or more specifically around 73.4k. And so far, the price of Bitcoin has almost already hit that price target. As of recording this video, we're already trading above 72,000. And so obviously, for example, if you took this short-term trading opportunity, if you entered a long position anywhere near this short-term breakout that I told you in my last video, then obviously right now you're doing very well in that short-term trading opportunity. And once again, we still have some more room left to the upside towards this short-term price target. And obviously, the price of Bitcoin can indeed go much higher than this price target, especially if BlackRock and Fidelity and other big players are buying much more Bitcoin today, with the Bitcoin ETFs starting to trade again today. And so once again, overall, of course, we can see these short-term pullbacks here and there, but overall, we're clearly trending in the bullish direction. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto to maximize your profits in crypto, then personally, I take trades just like that over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And in fact, if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link down below this video, it will take you to this page right here where you can get an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go on Bybit using that link down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses or this free airdrop position. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And also, if you use that link down below this video to Bitflex, you can get an exclusive bonus only if you use that link down below this video. And so once again, if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up or ready to go on one of those exchanges in order to take those trades if you want to. And once again, using those links down below this video will get you those extra bonuses. And now if we're taking a quick look at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously, as I've mentioned recently on the channel, we do have a possible short-term bearish divergence forming on the chart, because obviously right now the price of Bitcoin is forming higher highs in the candle closes, while the RSI is still technically sitting in lower highs on the 8-hour time frame. But as I said in my last video, this new bearish divergence right here is not yet confirmed because we have not yet actually confirmed the lower high in place in the RSI. Because for example, if the price of Bitcoin just continues pumping to the upside, that can drag the RSI further to the upside. And if the RSI breaks out above the previous high, forming a new higher high in the RSI, then there's no bearish divergence at all. And so ultimately, in order to confirm this possible new bearish divergence, we'll need to confirm this lower high in place in the RSI by seeing a few red candles actually confirming. And obviously, as of right now, that has not yet happened. So this is just something to pay attention to, but nothing to act on right now. And as I also said recently on the channel, even if it does confirm, I do not expect a massive move back to the downside. Honestly, at worst, I expect either a short-term pullback or sideways consolidation if this actually confirms, because we saw a bearish divergence right here between these two highs just here on the chart, and that resulted in a bit of a short-term pullback before continuing higher later on. And the last bearish divergence before that resulted in mostly a sideways consolidation before also continuing higher later on. And so just keep that in mind. Ultimately, even if it does confirm, which right now it has not yet confirmed, but even if it does, I do not actually expect a massive move to the downside. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, obviously over the last one day, we took out a lot of those liquidity levels that I exactly talked about in my last video. Because first of all, as I said in my last video, we did have a lot of upside liquidity and some downside liquidity. And what was interesting was the price of Bitcoin actually took out the downside liquidity first before smashing to the upside and taking out all of that upside liquidity, which I also said in my last video. First of all, that downside liquidity was mostly sitting at around 68,500 and at around 67.8k approximately. And over the last one day, we saw the price of Bitcoin take out all of that downside liquidity, basically the over leveraged long positions. And then just after taking out all of that downside liquidity, obviously, as you can see right here, there was not much liquidity left to the downside, which meant the price basically reversed and went straight to the upside to take out all of the upside liquidity. And so over the last one day, we saw a massive amount of short positions actually get liquidated. We're talking about billions of dollars of liquidations right here that basically got liquidated over the last one day in this massive move to the upside. And honestly, I don't know how anyone's actually shorting the price of Bitcoin at the moment, with BlackRock buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin price pumping into new all-time highs. Obviously, it's pretty hard to actually short the price of Bitcoin successfully right now. And this has been proven once again with a lot of short positions getting liquidated over the last one day, pushing the price even further to the upside. And as of right now, we don't really have a lot of new liquidity showing up because this is just fresh price action, so we need to wait for this chart to mature before seeing the next levels of liquidity. But as always, I'll keep you up to date each and every day here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos. And on top of that, I also share real-time updates throughout the day over on Twitter, so I'll make sure to leave a link to my Twitter in the description down below and in the pinned comment. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the weekly ETH to US dollar chart, and right now the price of ETH just confirmed a weekly candle close well above this previous area of resistance, which was sitting in between around 3.4k to 3.5k. And so right now, and also as I've been saying recently on the channel, the next important level of resistance for the price of ETH on the weekly time frame is simply the old all-time high, which is sitting at around 4.8 to 4.9k. And so like I said in my last video, potentially very soon in the coming weeks, we could end up seeing the price of ETH trading closer towards its all-time high, sitting close to $5,000 in the coming weeks. And obviously in terms of the larger trend at play on the weekly time frame, we're still looking extremely bullish, as I've been saying for a very long time now on the channel. And in fact, I've been saying here on the channel since all the way back down here in around November 2023, I've been telling you that we have this massive bullish price target on the chart sitting at around 4.3k. And back then, when the price was sitting at around $2,000, when I was sharing this $4,300 price target on the channel, a lot of people were telling me that I'm just a moon boy and there's no way we're going to hit $4,000 within a few months. That's impossible. But obviously, here we are now pumping to the upside. We're now sitting above $4,000 as expected, and as I talked about a few months ago here on the channel. And so once again, right now, we still have this active bullish price target sitting at around 4.3k for the breakout from this massive bullish ascending triangle pattern also on the weekly time frame. But obviously we can head higher than that price target. That's just the technical price target for this specific pattern right here. And if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, obviously right now the price of ETH is still trending in the bullish direction with a lot of consistent bullish momentum here in the daily Ethereum MACD, as I've also been saying over and over again here on the channel. And as I've also been saying here on the channel since all the way back down here when I entered that trade, right now my strategy is to long the price of ETH. I'm simply longing Ethereum as we speak, and as I've been saying here on the channel since all the way back down here. And ultimately, my strategy for that long position is to not close that trade too early, because that's one of the biggest mistakes in a bull market, to close a trade too early, because ultimately you want your winning trades to continue to profit. You want big winners and only small losers. And so right now, when it comes to this long position, I'm just leaving that trade open. I do not have an exact take profit or technical price target for that long position. And instead, I'm just leaving it open with my stop loss slowly moving further into profits as the trade moves into profits. And so by doing that, in the worst case scenario, I don't exactly expect this, but let's just say if we saw a massive crash to the downside, that will just trigger my stop loss and exit me automatically out of the trade in massive profits. And once again, I actually shared that trading opportunity here on the channel the moment I entered that trade all the way back down here. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on the next trading opportunity, which I'll also share here on the channel. And also personally, I took that trade right there over on Bybit. So once again, if you're new to this and you want to get set up ready to go to take the next trade, then get ready, set up ready to go over on Bybit or Bitflex, links down below if you want to get those extra bonuses. And if we're zooming into the short term, looking at just the 4-hour time frame right now as of recording this video, the price of ETH is just confirming the breakout in the short term, this new breakout above this short term resistance, which was sitting at around $39.50, going up towards around $4,000. And as of right now, we've already seen one 4-hour candle close above $4,000, and we're potentially about to see another 4-hour candle close above $4,000. And so technically speaking, at least initially, this breakout is now confirmed with a technical price target right here based on a measured move that I talked about in my last video. This short-term technical price target is sitting at around 43.30. And remember, we also have this massive technical price target for this previous ascending triangle pattern that I talked about at $2,000. That price target, once again, is sitting at around 4.3k. And so ultimately, I'd be targeting close to 4.3k here in the short term as the next price target. And also this previous resistance should now become a new support, once again, in between around 39.50 to 4k. But in the worst case scenario, let's just say if we break back below 39.50, then we should find some short-term support at around 38.60. But below that, we have much more support right here, sitting at around 37.50 to 3.8k. But once again, right now, this is potentially the next short-term trading opportunity with the point of invalidation just below that previous area of resistance. And so as always, this is not personal financial advice because I don't know your personal financial situation, but just for an example, obviously a short-term trading strategy here could be to enter a long position above this breakout as we're breaking out right now, with a potential short-term take profit, or at least closing some of the trade around this price target, with a stop loss just below the point of invalidation in case we invalidate the breakout and actually see more of a reversal in the worst case scenario. And so by doing that, there's a small risk on the table, but a larger rewards because the room to the upside towards that price target is larger than the room to the downside towards that point of invalidation. And so obviously when it comes to opening any new trade, there's always going to be risk involved. So keep that in mind. But the whole point to trading is to sway the probabilities in your favor. So of course, here and there, you might have some losing trades, but ultimately you want to make sure that the winning trades are much bigger than any losing trades. And so once again, that is not financial advice. That's just a potential example of a trading strategy here in the short term for this trading opportunity. And once again, if you want to trade crypto, you need an exchange to actually trade on. And if you use those links down below this video, you can claim those extra exclusive bonuses. And speaking of breakouts to the upside, taking a look at the price of Solana on the weekly time frame, and right now Solana is indeed breaking out above this important area of resistance, because this area of resistance is sitting in between around 120 to 140, and the last weekly candle close confirmed just above 140. So technically that's a small amount of confirmation for this breakout to the upside, but it'll be even better if we see this next weekly candle close also confirm above 140. And ultimately, the next important level of resistance for the price of Solana is simply the old all-time high at around 250 to 260. And so from the current price, in case you're wondering, that's around a 70 to 80% move to the upside with no leverage. And also this previous area of resistance should become new support, once again in between 120 to 140, now acting as new support. And obviously in terms of the larger trend at play, we're still clearly trending in the bullish direction, forming higher lows and higher highs on the larger timeframes. And if you actually want to know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.